Good evening, everyone. I welcome you to the first webinar by Mesa Frankfurt and the Indian Plumbing Association on the building material industry. A subsidiary of Mesa Frankfurt Exhibition, GmbH, one of the largest event organizers in the world, Mesa Frankfurt Trade Fairs India Private Limited, has a background of colossal experience in the international exhibition and conference industry and expertise in trade fair marketing. Operational for over 20 years in India, Mesa Frankfurt India holds a portfolio of over 20 prestigious trade fair brands, over 30 conferences, establishing itself as the country's most professional and leading trade fair and conference organizer. The Indian Plumbing Association is the apex body of plumbing professionals in India, established in 1993 with the objective to promote development of plumbing and building services industry. IPA membership is open to everyone and engaged directly or indirectly with the construction industry. They have 4,600 plus live members across the country from every segment of the building industry, including manufacturing, contracting, trading, academic, and architecture. The headquarters of IPA is at New Delhi with 23 city-wide chapters that propagate IPA's objectives. IPA publishes a monthly technical journal, IPT, conducts over 100 seminars per year, spreads awareness on water conservation through its membership and student chapters. They also conduct the I Save Water mission, blood donation drive, slum sanitation program. The Indian Plumbing Professional League are all part of the same and various basket of activities undertaken by the not-for-profit association. Mesa Frankfurt India organizes Ice Age powered by IPA. The next edition will be from the 18th to the 20th September 2020 in Mumbai. So what is going to happen post-COVID-19 to the growth of the building material industry? What are the challenges and how do we see the opportunities? This webinar is going to debate and find answers to the same. We have with us today on our panel, Mr. Sandeep Engineer, Managing Director, Astral Polytechnic Private Limited. Sandeep is a first-generation entrepreneur with a strong acumen. He's a chemical engineer and started his professional career with Ahmedabad-based Cadila Pharmaceutical. His first venture as a sole proprietor in 1986 was Shree Chemicals. Sandeep had a special interest in polymers right from his college days. After 8 years of business in pharmaceutical, he tied up with BF Goodrich and formed a new company styled as Astral Polytechnic Private Limited. This led to immense growth and development of the company, which led them to introduce PVC in the Indian market and thereby replacing conventional metallic system with the polymer products. Welcome, Mr. Engineer, and thank you for joining us. Our next panelist is Mr. Hussain Lahiri, a BSc in Aviation from the University of Mumbai with a commercial pilot license from Canada and India. He joined Lahiri Valves in 2009 with the advantage of an overwhelming history in the southern industry, giving the company a good opportunity to expand their horizon to other parts of India and overseas. Lahiri Valves today has grown to be a market leader in the infrastructure and industrial segment, with a keen intention to bring in the latest technology and innovation in the industry into the country. Their marketing goals are focused towards green concepts and sustainability, and their tagline is, where flow and pressure meets quality. Welcome, Mr. Lahiri, and thank you for joining us. Our next panelist is Mr. Kalra, CEO of the Bath Products and Tiles for Briloka. Mr. Sanjay Kalra holds a bachelor's degree in science and postgraduate degree in sales and marketing. He is responsible for the day-to-day operations, which include marketing, research and development, distribution, strategy, and e-commerce. His deep knowledge in the industry makes him instrumental in helping Briloka identify and leverage new business opportunities in order to strengthen and business market leadership. During his 33 years of experience, he has held a variety of marketing, strategic planning, and green management roles. This is Mr. Kalra's second stint at the group. His earlier one at HSIL Limited includes Senior Vice President, Sales of the bathroom business for nearly a decade. Prior to joining Briloka, he held multiple senior leadership positions and worked with marquee companies including Pidilite Industry Limited, Somani Ceramics Limited, and JK White Cements. Welcome, Mr. Kalra, and thank you for joining us. Our next panelist is Mr. Benjamin Samuel, who heads the building and construction sector business in India and Indian subcontinent countries at Kirloskar Brothers Limited, the flagship company of Kirloskar Group. Mr. Samuel has an enriching industry experience of 24 years in the field of pumps, valves, and fire safety. He's an engineering graduate from Mumbai University. He has been instrumental in planning and managing several corporate assignments in India. Mr. Samuel has been committed to promotion of green initiatives at his workplace and with customers. We welcome you, Mr. Samuel, and thank you once again for joining us. Our next panelist is Mr. Bantwal Ramesh Baliga, Chief Executive Officer, WaterTech India. Mr. Baliga holds a post-graduation in mechanical engineering with immense knowledge in bath fittings and plumbing industry. He has varied experience over 3 decades in the industry. His career has been with the market leader in bath fittings and then as director and country head for a superior premier brand serving elite customers with their sanitary ware products. His expertise in designing new products caters to principle of water saving. His most accomplished work has been developing of retail market channel sales, partners and institutional products in the country to develop a strong base. He presently leads the company with around 15,000 channel partners, 1,400 company employees, 36 warehouses across India. He has been instrumental in implementing Industry 4.0 at the plants and now has fully 3 automated factories. He's a people-centric person and never fails to motivate people and handle them. Welcome, Mr. Baliga, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I would like to now introduce you to our moderator, Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora, Managing Director of Rajco Group, manufacturer of copper tubes, fittings, and other allied products. He is also the National President of the Indian Plumbing Association and has been in many leadership positions in IPA since its inception in 1993. Under his leadership, IPA grew 83% in the last 3 years. In October, he was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award, the highest honor for IPA. Gurmeet is also the National Vice Chairman of CII IGBC. He joined the Green Building Movement in 2001 and has been part of the movement since its inception as a founding member of the council. He is also director of the Indian Plumbing Skill Council. Gurmeet has achieved many awards, including from Brihan Mumbai Licensed Plumbers Association, IPA, Pumps India, Nehru Science Center, Hitachi, Emerson, Voltas, Mahanagar Gas, among many others. Thank you, Gurmeet, for moderating the session, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Am I audible to all of you?
Yeah.
Well, we have over 500 odd participants now. Before I start introducing the panel discussion to you, I would like you to guess one thing. Am I wearing, and there's a prize for this, a black label bottle. So am I wearing a pajama, shorts, trousers, a dhoti or a lungi? Can anybody guess? Only 3 people can participate. Somebody is saying shoes, trousers, shorts, trousers. Wow. Yes, I'm wearing a trouser, but this is my 7th webinar and this is the first time I'm wearing a trouser. I've always been wearing pajamas till today with a shirt or a tie on top because we are all at home and we have learned to live a different life altogether, as we know. So good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen who are participating in this webinar. I'm very happy to welcome you today to the ISH Messe Frankfurt and the IPA joint webinar. Today's topic is going to be on the post-COVID-19 challenges and opportunities for the building materials industry. We have a very esteemed panel, as you can see. I don't need to introduce them. They've already been introduced. But we all understand that the COVID-19 virus is not going to go away very soon. And we will, till we get a vaccine, which may take anywhere between 6 months to a year, as we have heard. This is going to take some time. We hence all have to realize that we have to live with this virus in a manner where we need to get back to our activities, of course, with all the precautions that are necessary and are recommended today. The pandemic today hence needs, the panelists today need to be positive in their replies, not negative. I understand a lot of negativity has crept into many people, but we are reopening our industry. And someday, even when we reopen, like the LG factory, polymers factory had a blast yesterday in Vizag, where there were people who died because of a gas leakage. At the same time, we need to see how to restart our lives and to see how we are positive to come out better from what, and to come out with learning something from whatever we have faced over the last 45 days. There are crises in our lives, there are problems as we know, but as we know, there are solutions to every problem, and we need to find the solutions to get back to our normal lives. That is what I'm looking from all our panelists today. Let's get living again. Ladies and gentlemen, fate is what happens to us. Destiny is what we make out of this fate. The virus is now a part of humanity without differentiation of color, caste, creed, city, or even country as we know. Is there a lesson here that religion, numbers, size, color, race, boundaries, or even wealth bear no meaning at all? We are all one India, one world, one earth, and one universe as we have learned. In the last 45 days, I am shocked that we are all living comfortably. We are getting food to eat. At the same time, the world says it's in a recession. Why? Because all we are buying is only what we need. Nobody is buying a Montblanc pen. Nobody is buying a Mercedes. Nobody is buying a Louis Vuitton purse. And we are still living very comfortably. The disease is less. The heart patients are less. Hypertension is less. And we are learning to live with our families. Many of us, even including myself, I'm sweeping in my house sometimes. I go shopping. I'm ready to admit it. And we all are doing it. Why not? We're getting back to what we were earlier born for, to live life in a very peaceful and very humble way. So, lesson that we are learning today, let us all differentiate only between two things, not caste, not color, not creed, not country, but only between the creator and the creation. We are the creation. Let us learn to protect this creation, because this is nature fighting back, and something which we cannot even control. It's beyond our control. We don't even know when we will contract this virus and how to protect ourselves. We are all very scared. At the same time, as I said, we have to get back to life. So we are going to have this panel discussion on a very interesting topic, and we are talking post-COVID. We are not talking past. We're talking of the future now. The panel hence today will look at solutions and the way forward from where we are. I have 12 questions for my panelists. Each question will be given to two panelists, one after another, because we want a different viewpoint from the two panelists, and we get a variable reply from the panelists. There are 4 questions for the audience. I want you to reply. As we know, the Prime Minister talks of Chai Pe Charcha. We are today going to be serving you Chaat Pe Charcha. So I'll be giving you my bank account number very shortly. You need to swipe your credit card, give me 500 rupees, and you'll get the chart by tomorrow or day after. So let's start the panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen. My first question goes to Mr. Sandeep Engineer. We are in a lockdown 3.0, Sandeep ji. If the economy is fully opened up after the 18th of May, how do you view the business environment for the next 2 quarters? Sandeep, all yours. Sandeep, can you hear me? Sandeep? I think Sandeep cannot hear.
I think his net is frozen.
Problem.
Okay, what we'll do is then Sandeep, can you hear us?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can now.
We are not seeing you, but we are hearing you.
Okay.
Have you heard the question?
Yeah.
So can you answer it, please?
If the economy is open for the next 2 quarters, the next 2 quarters are going to be a big challenging quarters for everyone in India. If we consider this quarter already 1 month has gone, and May is still a month where we will be slowly opening our businesses, starting to feed the market. So we have to see how June performs. And if the normalcy comes back in the business in the month of June, then we will see some hopes in the next quarter. But these 2 quarters are going to be most crucial quarters, and everyone has to not target for any growth or big numbers, or profitability in big numbers, everyone has to look at how to keep the company afloat, how to get your break evens and perform above break evens. So these
Very
two
good.
quarters are going to be a very crucial quarters. And everyone has to focus on the rural market. The rural market is going to play a big role in coming year for every company for growth, because that is the market which will open up fast, function normally, have demands, and give us whatever the business possible. The cities are going to take time to open up and come to normalcy. So the focus has to be on rural
Thanks,
quarters.
Sandeep. Thank you. Ramesh ji, what is your viewpoint? Mr. Ramesh Balega.
I understand the next 2 years and 2 quarters is going to be a little challenging. But if you look at the positive part of the story, like Sandeep ji just said, my strength are in tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 cities and the rural markets. So I can see a bit of growth happening. I mean, we started about a week ago, and the inquiries what we are receiving in from these two markets are tremendous. In fact, people are calling us to open up our factories and asking for the material. The reason I feel is that a lot of projects were on hold in the final stages in the month of Feb and March of the last financial year. And now that is actually pilfering now, and people want to finish it off as early as possible. Now, so first quarter, as you rightly said, first 2 months are challenging, but June they might be a little different. But second quarter, I am surely there's going to be a change from us. I mean, we hope there's going to be a good change.
Very good. Very positive, both of you, that at least we'll recover within 3 to 6 months. Very positive.
Yeah.
My next question goes to Mr. Benjamin Samuel. The government has classified areas into 3 zones, as we know, red, green, and orange, and including containment 4 zones. How can the manufacturing sector move ahead, especially when half or 2/3 of our supply chain or our buyer chain, our client base, may be stuck in orange zones, red zones, or containment zones, or maybe downgraded? You can't upgrade. A state government cannot upgrade from an orange to a green, but solely you can downgrade from a green to orange. So how are you going to manage your business like this?
Yeah,
Benjamin.
I was going through various reports and I saw that during the lockdown period, the country's economy has been working at around 50-55% of its capacity. And I'm sure the government cannot afford to have the country running at this space or this economy level. So even in the red zones, there is going to be restricted business, as we see. Hussain is sitting in his office. So is Mr. Balega. So the economy, though the zones are there, it's being classified, but still there's going to be restricted business in the red zone and of course orange and green zones. So going forward, we all have to track the zones. There are material available, information is available on the web. We need to track each zone. Zones, we need to be a little cautious. On the orange and green zones, and especially the green zones, we really need to focus. And like we just saw, the rural and the tier 3 type of cities, these are the places where we need to focus our next few quarters business.
Benjamin, would you like to add something? Sorry, Hussain, would you like to add something? I'm so sorry.
Yes, sir. There is no solution to it. However, a red, orange, or a green will move depending on the containment. Also, something red today or orange today could be green tomorrow, or vice versa. In the long term, every industry will have to look at supply chain and logistics effectively and prevent excessive of anything anywhere, whether it is dependent to a country, a state, a set of cities, or whatever. I think that is my take on how I would answer to this question.
Right. There is a suggestion from the audience from Sachin Jain. He says, but all the zones are red. What are we going to do? Anyway, stay home, Sachin, and prevent the disease, and then it will become from red to orange to green. My next question is to Mr. Sanjay Kalra. And the same question, Ramesh, you can also answer after Sanjay. The building industry went through a retraction with 7 tsunami legislations in 2 years. We had the RERA, we had the Indian Bankruptcy Code, Demonetization, Benami Act, GST, opening up of separate escrow accounts for builders for every site or every building. Do you think now the building industry post-COVID is already gone through, pre-COVID is already gone through a big recession or depression? Do you think we need to social distance ourselves from the building industry already in a crisis? Future crisis we don't know, but past crisis to hai.
Yeah, I think I believe that there was no tsunami per se. I think
Sanjay,
yeah.
Be careful what you say, otherwise all your builder clients will run away.
That's fine, but that's what I'm going to say. You know, see, I'll say even if it say tsunami, it was only for 30%. How? That I'll explain you. But first thing is that I think whatever, RERA and certain other initiatives, I think that there was a need for regulation. There also, because we were sitting in, on a different platform. Now, if you look at today, the kind of inventories were carried, the way industry was, I think, I'll say artificial growth was happening, but now I think times are there when a lot of consolidation is happening, and this is in long term, I'm sure this is much beneficial. And I think most important thing is that how do we look at building material industry? Building material industry is just not with due regards to our real estate friends. It's not the entire industry. Today, if you look at the size of the industry, you call about like what we operate around 70% sales comes from the retail. That's also a building material industry. I keep talking on different forums that we create 40 lakh houses every year, individual houses. That's also a building material industry, which is, happening across the country on plots like 20 yards to maybe 200 or 2000 yard plot. So yes, the impact on the real estate was there. And wherever, if you now within India, if you see, we can divide. There are areas like Bangalore, Hyderabad. The impact was not so great. They still were able to hold on to rates, and they were doing decent until now. Also, pre-COVID, they were doing great. I'll say in relative terms. But other areas, certain areas like NCR, maybe then Mumbai, Calcutta, yeah, there were issues. So I think if you look at today, the way the interest rates are pegged currently and overall size of the industry, and when we are talking of going to tier 3, tier 4 towns and expanding, I think building material industry, which is the second largest employer in the, as far as manpower is concerned, is will look forward and will surely come out of the COVID. I'm damn sure of it.
Very good, very good. In fact, I may want to add also before we go to Ramesh ji that there is a thrust of the government for affordable housing and housing for all. So there is also going to be growth in different segments of the building industry. Ramesh ji, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I would say, there are the 3 curves.
Can you all put your volume? Sanjay, your volume was a little low. Either you come closer to your computer because there were people on the chat saying we can't hear clearly. Okay. Ramesh, can you speak loudly?
Yeah,
please. Yeah.
We had the 2 curves which the government has been talking, the U and the V curve. I think we should now talk about the W curve. Now, because the ups and downs would always be there. There were a lot of downs earlier too. There were a lot of decisions earlier too. And I think we have successfully come out of it. Now, what I would add on is, I think I would consider this as my downtime to create some new innovative products, to create some new product which relates to the hygiene and the health, which is going to be the concern of, the reason of social. Hello?
Carry on.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Yeah. The social distancing has been made because of the hygiene part, and then I think products suiting this part would be better to be done now than social distancing ourselves from the industry. Yes, industry is going through difficult times, but innovative products, being with the customer And I'm sure the market is going to take the W turn, what I'm talking about. We have finished the V, and I think now we have to take up the second V.
Ramesh, I like better curves.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't want to say which one, but those curves look better, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway.
No, but curves, but I think W's are much better, you know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ups and downs are always there.
Right. The next question I would like to pose to the audience, not to my panelists. And I'm going to be reading some of the answers. What is your advice for the MSME business sector to withstand themselves in 2020 going forward from here? I would like the audience to reply. I will repeat my question. What is your advice for the MSME business sector to withstand themselves in 2020 going forward from here? Sustain your cash flow, Suesh Agarwal. Baba Raju says, let's not hold on to the cash. Yes, the cash has to flow. In fact, let it flow. Absolutely right.
Flow inside, flow in, you know.
Flow into Ramesh Balega. Flow in. Okay. Use manpower judicially. Innovative and quality focus. Continue with innovation. Control credit. Reduce inventory. Reduce overdue. Creativity. Come out with more economical products. Yeah. Ramesh, think innovative. Focus more on automation. Wow. Right use of manpower. Employees are partners in business. If this message is communicated, people will be ready to continue right now. We have right now 525 odd people and we are still on digital. Reduce overheads. Come to digital platform. Wow. Increase production and focus on logistics, timely delivery of product. Rely on market intelligence, technology driven and lower your margin. I think I'll stop here. Thank you to the panelists. So what do we get? Chai pe charcha you get. I have one of the guys who is answering. He is called Mr. Nana. No, N-A-N-A. Meet Shah says agriculture and mega food park startup. Prepare technical staff. Jyoti Saxena. Can we go to the next question? Can you hear me, gentlemen?
Yeah.
My next question is to Benjamin Samuel and then to Mr. Sanjay Kalra. Social distancing, hygiene practices, disinfection, regular health and temperature checks are the Novio norms. We have to adhere to these. How do you plan to cope up with all this without affecting your profitability of your company? So, Benjamin, will you answer, please?
When we talk about disinfection or hygiene practices, regular health and temperature checkups, are not very expensive things to be done, and it is going to be applicable to everybody. It's applicable to me, it's applicable to my competitor as well. So,
sir, if your office can only accommodate 50 staff members and you have 50 coming in, how will you do social distancing?
Yes, I'm coming to it.
1 minute. I am also asking you, do you have 50 staplers, 50 punch, and everybody has to use their own stapler and their own punch? You don't even share stationery. What are you going to do about this?
I'm coming to it.
Yes.
I'm talking about the products and the way we work in our offices. So we'll have to work on this. Of course, safety comes first. So disinfection, regular health checkup, these are all mandatory things, and we need to go ahead with this without having a second thought. And when we talk about social distancing, we can work in shifts. Maybe if it's a plant or a small workshop, you can work in shifts, divide the employees. If it was working in one shift, you can work in 2 shifts, 2 to 3 shifts. And secondly, you can reorganize the setup also, the way people sit or their workplaces, so that proper social distancing is available. And thirdly, what I would like to say is work from home is going to be the new norm or the new normal, and identify people who will be able to work from home at least till we have the vaccine coming in and it is successful and is available to general public. So this is my take on this question.
Thank you, Benjamin. Can we go to Mr. Sanjay Kalra, please, on the same question?
Yeah, I think first thing is, do we have an option on, so we have no option, we have to adopt. And I think in last 40 days, there everybody is adopted whatever was required, whether it was home quarantine, whether staying at home, working from home, webinar, everything. And to my surprise, we have already started some of the locations we have opened, and I'm pretty surprised, maybe on the cost front, as Samuel said, there's certain equipment, certain think what will require are not very expensive, but yes, the number of people, restriction, and other, the cost will. But at this juncture, I think cost have to be seen in the different perspective. One, how important it is to do the safety part. I think there has to be, first of all, a pandemic calendar. Then there has to be, we have issued travel advisories. We have, we are talking of how health checkups will happen in a due course of time, how we can take, insurance for our employees for this safety gears. Even like our plumbers are moving in the market, and every day we are getting a report. Every plumber has to post his photo. How he's going to the market. Is he carrying a mask? Is he carrying a shield? Is he carrying a bottle of sanitizer in his hand? So these things have to be adopted. There is no option. Cost front, yes, we have to see how we can cut down other costs, and so I think that will be the key thing.
Very good, very good. My next question is to Mr. Hussain Lahiri and then to Mr. Sandeep Engineer. Cost of manufacturing in India is very, very expensive compared to Europe or to US. There is a fixed interest cost of 9 to 11%. LIBOR is today less than 1%, and even some interest rates in some countries are already negative. There's a fixed energy cost, maximum demand charges, low productivity and automation in our country. We feel that a lot of these small sector units feel if 5 people can do it, why do I have to spend money on automation? And now pay without work for the last 2 months. So the effects of the coronavirus will last through 2020. Jack Ma has stated we need to stay afloat, forgetting about profitability. How do you plan to stay afloat over water, Mr. Hussain Lahiri and Mr. Sandeep Engineer? Hussain?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for the question. Thank you for the lovely question. Well, these are extraordinary times, and many businesses have closed as they are considered non-essential during this pandemic. Many have been suffering even before the lockdown. This has brought up to a question of survival. We have had to implement massive organizational changes in just a matter of weeks. So quick action is the key to adopting new technologies. Networking, building relationships, and the willingness to take calculated risks, even at a time when the world slides toward commodity pricing. Little support from the federal government with a stimulus package to manage cash flow will also help us stay afloat. Over to you, Baliga sir.
No, I think it's Mr. Sandeep Engineer.
Oh, sorry, Sandeep sir.
But before that, Sandeep, I didn't know that Hussain is an airplane pilot. I think he all needs to take us for a ride after the COVID crisis is over.
Oh, yeah. We'll need private aircrafts now.
We'll have to do that. Yeah. Come on, Sandeep, carry on. Yeah.
So I do agree that this is going to be a most challenging time, which Jack Ma has told. And the companies who are strong in their financials will stay afloat, survive, and even get an opportunity to grow. So the financials have to be very strong. The companies with very, very low debt or zero debt are in the best position to take on this challenge. The companies with very good cash flows, the companies who have the receivables under control are also the companies who will be doing very good in the coming this fiscal. And the best is the low cost. How you can bring down your cost. Automation is still far, far away for some companies because the capital cost or the projects, nobody can say I can do great. Multi-locational facilities, my companies keeping their costs under control, company giving services very fast, companies taking care of their network, still controlling their outstandings, are going to do great, and they have an opportunity actually in this environment. Very good for the stronger companies.
Very good.
And that is what we have started seeing also, and that is what will happen next.
Very positive.
And
thank you. Yes, sir. Anything else?
I'm very positive about it. And you all have to live with it. So let's think about social distancing, and all these things are always a part of things and are going to happen. But this virus is going to stay with you for not 2020, but one more fiscal then. So be ready for surprises, be ready to live with it, and the world will be ready to grow with it. So we will grow, we will do a great business, and the viral will become our friend at the end of the day.
That's very true, very true. Is the viral female or male, Sandeep ji?
That I think after this webinar we both will.
We'll talk offline, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the infection rate in India increases, which is it is apparent as we can see, do you feel we need to go into lockdown 4.0? And if so, will it not kill the already drowning business scenario in India? What do you recommend, Mr. Ramesh Balega?
Sir, lockdown 3, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, lockdown 4. Maybe we'll have to have lockdown 5 also. But I think lockdown does not happen in all zones. It might be that containment zone would be the hotspot might be the location which will be under the control of the government. I think rest zones would start their businesses off. And जान है तो जान है, लेकिन जान भी चाहिए और जहान भी चाहिए. Now you can't think about जान and then So I personally feel the show goes on, and like Sandeep ji said, I think going forward we have to live with it. And lockdowns are not going to stop this in May or June or whatever. It might recollect again, but I think positively, if you look at the angles, the 3 zones, red zone and red, green and orange can definitely fetch us the business what we are expecting. Maybe we may not be able to do the great business what we did a couple of years ago, because last year also were not good. So if you look at the economy of last year, we also lost a couple of months there in the previous year also. So it is not surprising that we lose 1 or 2 years this year also. But I think positively, I'm sure the market is going to pick up. It's going to be challenging. As you rightly said, the companies which work on innovation, which works on good cash flow would definitely be successful.
Very well said. Sandeep, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, obviously, if you see, there has been in past when chikungunya came, you go to the survey, over 3 million people were affected and there were enough deaths. But at that time, the social medias and all these things were not so much active. So nobody made a notice of it. Now it has become such a hype. And I feel that are we overhyping the disease, or are we creating a panic in the people, or are we creating what actually are we going to earn out of, say, 4th lockdown? This country cannot afford any more lockdown.
That's right. That's right.
We are such an economy that people live on daily wages. We are such an economy that people will thrive and die without food. So we cannot now continue to run this country sitting home. We have to separate the elderly people or the children and start going to the work. That is the only solution to get things back to normal.
You have to live with the virus. Very true.
Yeah. Make him your friend and he will help you.
I thought you said he anyway.
Let me keep it he.
Okay.
She will help you.
Okay. No problem. My next question is now to the audience again. Which category of building material products will be in maximum demand post-lockdown in your opinion? Plumbing pipes, CPVC and PVC, Sandeep Engineer. Sensor products, yes. Cement, PVC pipes, pumps, sensor faucets, electronic faucets, sensor faucets, automation, all pipes, drainage pumps, automatic hygiene products, cement and sanitary ware, hygiene related products, PVC again, sanitary ware, walls, pumps, agricultural products and essential products, drainage pipes, sensor technology. So I think the majority is touch-free sensor technology, germ-free sanitary ware, cheaper products. Cheaper products will always be in demand, but are they the real products that sell? No. FlowGuard and Blaze Master, Mr. Sandeep Engineer. Drainage and sewage. Malum hai. I'm pulling your leg. Sanitary ware products. Usko nahi malum na jo likh raha hai. Replacement products, seat covers, taps, health faucets. Okay, let's go back to the panel discussion. Thank you very much. Good. The audience is also participating. I have lost all of you. Can you hear me?
No. Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay. So my next question is a very tricky question. I can't see anybody on the screen, but maybe I'll get back. It is said that the virus lasts for 12 to 24 hours on various materials, including plastics and some metallic surfaces. Your clients ask for fast delivery. Every person or product can be a potential carrier. How will you ensure that your product is not a carrier of the virus from your facility to the client's premise? You know, like Marks and Spencer's, buy one, get one free. You don't want to sell your pump, Mr. Sanjay Benjamin or Mr. Sanjay Kalra, your sanitary ware, and also send a virus with it. So how will you ensure that? Can we go to Mr. Sanjay Kalra for the answer first?
Yeah, thank you. See here already, if you look at the hygiene at the manufacturing level, and then second level of hygiene will be when we dispatch the goods. So primary dispatch and then secondary dispatch. So on this, there has to be again adoption, and already like if I talk again, whatever locations we have opened, the first thing was doing basic sanitization and hygiene, and new equipment was bought, and then the process were followed, and then now we have laid down SOPs also. Similarly, we have laid down SOPs for our channel partners also. When they start delivering, how will they deliver? And we are in talks with certain logistics company who are our logistics provider, that how they can ensure that it goes in a much more safer condition, the people who are handling it, and what could be done to make sure that customer who is getting a delivery it's not a contaminated stuff, or no virus is going, whether it is going sanitary ware or faucet. And even we are issuing guidelines for just to give insight guidelines for how the showrooms will operate, because sanitary ware faucet operates on showroom is must. So how the showroom hygiene will be kept, how the customer will come, what kind of distance. So all these SOPs, all these processes are being created, and again, its question will be of adoption. And I'm sure as a careful business entity and a careful individual, we all will work to ensure that the customer, whatever they are receiving, is receiving a, I'll say, corona-free product, not a virus-free. So that's how it will be. I think moderator is
missing.
Hello.
Yeah, Gurmeet, I think you are not being seen and not being heard also. I think Benjamin, you want to take the
Yeah, I
second
think
part
I
of
can
the.
continue. Sanjay Kalra has already covered most of uh, what I was, what I had in my mind. Uh, we have a lot of products like glass. It remains for 5 days. On wood for 4 days. Plastic and stainless steel for 3 days. So sanitization of the incoming material and the outgoing material is something very important. And handling the products, hygiene, personal hygiene, and work hygiene is going to be the key. And we cannot afford to be a reason for spreading coronavirus around us. So even if it is a delay or even if it is costing us more, we need to ensure that we're not the reason for spreading the disease.
Right, right. I got lost for some time. I had to put off my computer and start it again. I'm sorry. The next question is to Mr. Ramesh Balega and to Hussein Leri after that. Green zones can become orange, orange will become into red, red can become into containment zones. How will you handle clients and their demand when the areas get degraded into red or containment? You make a specialized product for somebody or a specialized size, and suddenly that guy goes into a containment zone. What will you do?
I think containment zone I would like to avoid. But yes, the other zones I think we can still continue to serve ourselves. But see, this curve, as I said, is going to continue a little longer. Now, the day we opened our factory, they said you have been put into a red zone now. We were in green, and so I mean, this cycle we are already going through, and this is going to continue. But I would say in such a case where it's better to avoid the containment zone. Discuss with the customer or the client and ask him to wait for some time, say about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because sending people there or product there, which is impossible today because they're completely blocking the containment zone. But red zones and other three zones, I think uh, safety is the biggest factor. I would like to stay. I would like to stake claim here saying that safety of my people is more important. Safety of the people who are buying the product is also important. So I would avoid containment zone. The other three places, I have no problems in going with all the required safety measures.
What do you feel, Hussein?
Thank you. Again, as Baliga said, we need to ride this out. We need to ride it out. It is also possible that the opposite will occur. So we may have a problem in larger cities compared to more spread out parts of the countries because of population density, which is a given fact. The key is to adapt and act quickly, enabling transactions on a digital platform and making available a contactless supply chain. That would be my take.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Hussein. Thank you. I'll go to my next question. This means we are in a very unpredictable and unsure future. How will we handle cash flows and payments and link supplies to payments, Mr. Benjamin Samuel?
Yeah, we all know cash is going to be the king.
Yes.
So first of all, what we have been doing as a company also, we have been predicting all our expenses, the mandatory expenses and the essential expenses and then the non-essential expenses. And we've been trying to see from where we can get this, recover our money. There are many places where cash is stuck up for all of us. So we are looking at places to get the cash or get the recoveries done. And the key would be, I think, again, focus on customers who would be able to pay, or geographies like the zones, red, orange, green zones, and segments. If you're going to invest something in airlines, they may take a year or 2 years to recover. But at the same time, if we invest in something that is fast moving, clothes, fashion, luxury items, which will recover more fast. So in that way, we can manage our cash flow.
Do you feel, Mr. Sanjay Kalra?
I think what Benjamin covered, that's pretty valid. And one thing which when we have adopted is we have you use the red, orange, and green zones in a way for our ledger. So wherever things part with our customers where we think that they fall into green category, which is their payment terms, the payments are far better, and so we have to improve our business number one with them. Secondly, similarly with the orange also, I think more than that, I think recoveries have to be of much faster pace. And for that, if some kind of small incentivizations have to go, we have to, because we have to fetch the cash. So one, like earlier I used to interact with my, interact with my CFO not on daily basis, but now I am interacting with on a daily basis because, I have to get him cash and he has to then distribute it further. So I think that monitoring daily, being over our situation day by day, I think there are few mechanisms where we have to manage the cash flows and run the business.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. My next question again goes to the audience. So let's go on the chat. And what would be the growth strategies to sustain in the market post-lockdown? I repeat the question, what would be the growth strategies for all of us to sustain in the market post-lockdown? Enhance use of market intelligence, data and analytics for sales and marketing. Stay in touch. NPD. What is NPD?
New product
Keep innovating. Cutting down cost. Expand retail reach. Rural development, Sandeep. Product innovation. Focus on marketing, digital marketing, optimum use of resources, customer centric. Customer centric as long as customer pays you. Set short-term target. Yes, use resources and money judiciously, but you have to make the cash flow. Networking, cash sell required rather than credit. Service, use of e-commerce, focus on e-commerce. Dealer support, keep the channel partners. Approach towards, it's moving like a gambling, wheel. I can't even read. Stop credit sales completely. Offer better prices. Focus on marketing.
Hello.
Survival of the quick. Very good. Thank you very much, audience. Yes. Sandeep. We'll go to the next question. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Yes. It is for Mr. Sandeep Engineer and then Mr. Hussain Larry. Do you see any opportunities in this current scenario?
Yeah, there are very, very big opportunities in the current scenario.
Okay.
There are two things. One is the stronger companies will emerge more stronger out of this, and in every segment there will be top 3 or 4 who will only see growth, opportunity, and will be floating in the market smoothly, because there will be a lot of challenges for many companies whose cash flows are not strong. Again, as Benjamin said, cash is the king. So your cash flows management is very, very important. One, how you control your expenses. Brand spends have to be done very religiously. Cost control have to be taken care of. Market reach has to be established. As we said, today green, tomorrow red, red to green, green to red. This is going to happen every day. And how you create your businesses, how you motivate your teams, again, very important. In this scenario, you have to motivate your teams, because teams would be frightened. The marketing teams are the soldiers on the border, because they have to go to the market, they have to meet people, they have to create markets. We all are sitting in offices, very safe, secured. not touching anyone, keeping social distances. But for them, it is a challenging time, and we have to keep motivating them. So I think the new industrial scenario which will emerge in a year and a half, you will see that lot of consolidation will happen in business. Lot of mergers and acquisitions will happen in the business. Lot of
as long as they are not from the Chinese, huh?
No, India.
Yeah, I'm pulling your leg.
From India itself, lot of companies would like to, a lot of promoters would like to step down and merge or make the cash whatever is possible, get out of the scrap. So lot of new avenues will open up, lot of new scenario of business will happen, lot of changes is going to come in India. So you see in next 2 years, there will be a new India, there will be a new business atmosphere, there will be certain companies merged, acquired or taken over and become more bigger, and lot of such smaller brands who are struggling to survive with cash flows, debts and receivables. This is the last nail in their coffin. So there will be a tough time for them to re-emerge and come and start their companies or be in the market. So it is good for people, it is bad for the opportunities swing on both the sides. So it is most challenging time for the business, country, systems. It is going to be a most challenging time for next, I'm telling you again, not 2-3 months, 2 years. Be prepared for next 2 years. It is going to be 2 years. You have to run your company properly. Then you have made it, and you can grow to any level.
Right. Hussain, what do you feel? You want to go back to flying, or you still want to run Larry Walls?
Even that industry is.
I know.
Everyone is in the same boat.
Yeah.
I have no options.
So what do you see the opportunities rather than the negativity? Let us look at the positivity in this.
Definitely, but definitely. I really like Sandeep sir's positive approach to it. But let us face it from the ground up. It is not going to be very bright. The GDP is in negative, potential inflation spike, cash flow issues everywhere. The CRISIL estimates a 45% drop in financing for new real estate projects. And one study even shows a 17 million drop in jobs in the real estate and construction within the next 9 to 12 months. The positive side is, since the pandemic has compelled corporates to work from home, more than 25% have taken it as their new normal. This will spike demand for budget and small housing, as you said earlier. I also feel diversifying interests into irrigation, which is connected to the agriculture industry, will still show a steady 15%, which is still showing a steady 15% growth, and is also not affected by the pandemic. It will also absorb a small percentage of the jobs. However, how many will adopt to it is a question mark.
That's right.
And see the opportunity around them in these uncertain times. Sustainability will be the way forward, and we have got used to luxury, clean air, and all types of luxuries. And we also need to adopt green manufacturing systems to ensure that we are able to conserve the clean air and
energy, water,
nature,
indoor air quality, all of them. Yeah.
Correct. For a longer time, and ensure that we do not again contaminate it after we open up again.
Well, the rivers have all become clean, and you have a Ganga mission, and the Ganga is already clean. With 25 days of lockdown, the Ganga was clean. So can you imagine the amount of pollution that goes in because of humans? Anyway, I mean, that's a different subject. We'll go to the next question. Mr. Sanjay Kalra, what is your advice to our esteemed audience on the challenges and opportunities post-COVID-19? Benjamin, we'll move to you after Sanjay answers this.
So I'm going to talk how from the business perspective. I think I'm looking for 5 mantras. First, build customer trust. I think then as a stabilize and restore supply chain manufacturing. Then managing cost and cost liquidity. Accelerate adoption of digital technological transformation, and hold on to your people. I think that's the most important. And post that, I think you will see a good top line and reasonable bottom line also.
Very good. Benjamin, what do you feel?
Yeah, I think we've said again and again, but again, I would like to repeat, maintaining a healthy cash flow is going to be a very important key of surviving over this pandemic. Second, how we use the present time is going to be very important. This restricted times or restrained times when we are at homes, working from our homes, how we try to streamline our processes that we adopt in our offices or in our plants, in our removing unproductive activities, planning for that, and being ready for the new normal. Reimagining the new business scenario, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, cost cutting, as Mr. Kalra said. And last, work from home is not going to be very easy. This is a short period that we have been working. We do not know how long people will be working in this way. And isolation and lack of social interaction could affect employee motivation, and the cohesion as a team also it will affect. Right. So how we keep up the morale of all our team members as we go ahead is going to be important. So these areas I would request our audience to focus on.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. My last question before I go to the audience for one more question is to Mr. Ramesh Balega. Would you like to give any suggestions to the government of India, sir?
Yeah, the common man's needs are three things: the roti, kapda, or makan. Okay, for roti there is a huge focus by the government on agriculture front, and I think government should focus on makan now, because I think we are, as Sanjay ji said, we are the second largest service providers. In the sense, we provide a lot of employments to the construction industry, and government should really come out with policies to support the building material industry and the other related construction activities. And I think if a man, the government vision was by 2022 to provide house to everybody, but I think that should really be a focus. But in today's scenario, like I was discussing about the affordable segment, I think the policies meant for affordable segment has to be re-looked at too by the government. I think roti, kapda and makan should be our logo, and I think makan is focus, and makan is our part.
Right. Sandeep ji, what do you feel?
I feel all these are important. Roti, kapda, makan and everything is going to be a part of it. But for my message to government is that at some point they need to put a system and come out of this lockdown. This thing is going to continue. One of my factory was in green zone. In just 2 days, it has come in the red zone. Now, the factory which got infected with the virus, the employees, is almost 7 kilometers apart from me, and they are locked down the whole circle region. How will businesses come to normal with all these systems? If a neighbor gets corona, you cannot lock down the whole area. So there has to be a system formed by the government to open. They have to focus on the medical here. They have to bring in more hospitals. They have to bring in more doctors. They have to open out the medical system of India. They cannot control the private hospitals to charge government rates and do the repairs. You cannot, nobody will do it for you. So they need to open up the medical systems. They need to open up areas slowly. They have to bring in systems slowly. You cannot, my one employee who is a manager in a plant in another state goes to another state and is quarantined for 14 days. How fast this country will come back to normalcy if you are quarantined within your country and you are not freely allowed to travel within your country? Forget the people who will come from outside. You need to put a system in next 1 month. They have done great. Our visionary Prime Minister has done great. The first lockdown was good, the second, the third, but now they have to put a system in effect in the month of May, and in June, live with this disease, bring things to normal, and people have to fight in and out. If you have a cancer, if there are certain diseases and somebody catches the disease in your office, say swine flu, you cannot close the whole office or you cannot close the whole plant. Otherwise, the losses to the organizations or the losses to the people running would be in crores. And at some point, there has to be a common system to open the economy. Spending in infrastructure will happen, spending everywhere will happen, markets will come back, everything. Economy opens. India is a huge market of self-consumption only. We'll think about the opportunities lying outside India later on. First, let's come back to normal. Then our brains will work for opportunities which will come to us from outside of India. So I think the government and our Prime Minister is doing great job, and I think they will be thinking on this, and in June we'll be able to meet you in the Bombay. I hope so, and have a cup of coffee together.
If you come to meet me, wear your face mask and come.
I will wear the face mask. I will wear a shield also.
Okay. There are a few questions from. Drink I will give you.
Coffee with a straw.
But not coffee. I will give you a drink. Okay, don't worry.
Both meet physically. That's very important.
Right, sir. Right. There are a few questions from the audience I'll take up. How the building industry.
Hello.
I want you to answer this, Mr. Sanjay. In absence of labor who are left for their native homes and are scared to come back.
So,
Sanjay, did you get the question?
No, I didn't.
Mr. Sanjay Kalra.
Yeah.
You see, the construction industry, a lot of labor has gone to their villages.
Yeah.
And they are scared to come back now into these red zones. So how are you going to start your work when you don't have labor?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and incidentally, one side we were opening, and other side the labor or the so-called workers started going back. So I think moving forward, it will be a big challenge how whether sites or industry run their show, and automation will take time. It will not happen overnight. So I think there again, as we were discussing the role of government and state governments, they have to help us getting them back, and there have to be some concrete solution policy SOPs if they come back, where they will stay, of how they will be taken care of, and then we were talking of a common Aadhaar card and all. So I think it has to be. I think it's a more deeper subject and needs a little longish debate. To bring them back, we need to show them empathy. We need to be supportive to them, and then after promising them to come, we have to show them how we are going to take care of them. Then only it will happen. Otherwise, at this juncture, the way they have suffered, very difficult to get them back.
I think Mr. Sanjay Bhilare, we have answered your question well. There's a question from Mr. Akash Kutecha. I think, Hussain, can you answer this question? Do you see any chances of decrease in demand because everyone will try to save on cost? There?
Come again, sir. What was the question?
Do you see any chances of decrease in demand because everyone will try to save on cost?
I mean,
Messe Frankfurt would like to answer
definitely.
this question. Who wants to? You feel there will be a demand?
Yes, there will be a decrease in demand, but then it will also increase. So there's a flip side to everything. And I mean, we just have to hold on and wait for the right moment, and try to be safe and secure until the demand increases again, and do what what we've been doing in so many years. I think that would be the right approach.
I am of the opinion, Hussein, that the demand will decrease to the extent of units which are closed down. But once the economy opens up, if I open up my factory fully, then my demand is going to remain the same. And if all the construction sites open up, not now, but in the next few months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, then obviously the demand is going to be there. Demand is not going to go anywhere. In fact, demand is going to remain. Yes, you are not going to sell luxury items initially. People are going to buy more necessity than luxury. But at the same time, there is going to be some pepped up demand. Demand is not going to become zero.
Definitely.
I'll take one for the plumbing industry during post-COVID. Yes.
Yeah, you are there.
Yes, who's that?
No, I was there. I think we lost you for some time.
Gurmeet, your connection was a little poor.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a question from Mr. Nishant Sharma. Will IPA be releasing any guidelines for the plumbing industry during or post-COVID? I'll answer that. We have already released guidelines on how to start your sites, and it is available with me. Any chairman you know in your region of IPA has these guidelines. Please contact any member of IPA. He'll be able to share this with you. I won't go to any more questions from the audience. We have one last question for the audience. The use of water consumption has increased exponentially. As we know, we have to hand wash many times in a day. In fact, they say 20 seconds. Hygiene, frequent cleaning and disinfection has to take place. We are in hot summer. What to industry, ladies and gentlemen? And I want the audience to answer this. I will repeat the question. The use of water consumption is increasing exponentially for hand washing, hygiene, frequent cleaning and disinfection. We are already into the prevailing summer. What is your recommendation to the industry? Use the sanitizer wherever possible. Use of water saving aerators. We have to recycle water, especially for the industries. Conserve water, water saving designed equipment. My God, the answers are really coming fast. Water aerators can be installed, which will be reduced flow of water, recycling the water, use low flow water faucets, electronic taps, recycling, foot operated taps, close the tap while soaping, recycle, water saving taps to be installed, STP, ETP, sanitizer aerators, foot pedal taps, stay home, stay safe, use less water, water conservation, bath once a day strictly, even in summertime, UV sterilization. Henceforth, use of sanitizer will be part of life, so we reduce hand washing water. Recycling water. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to the panel discussion. I would like to thank all my panelists. We have had a wonderful panel discussion. In fact, I will like to congratulate you that we went up to 570 participants, and at an average, we maintained at least 500 participants at all times. So the panel discussion has been wonderful. Your answers have been really appreciated by the audience. I'm already getting many WhatsApp congratulating all of you. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. And I would like to thank Messe Frankfurt for hosting this panel discussion. Thank you. Anything you would like to say, Genevieve?
Your mic is closed.
Your mic is mute.
Your mic, yeah.
I would like to thank all the panelists and Gurmeet, you too, for a wonderful session, for all your insights. And there was a lot of positivity, which is something that everybody wants to hear at this point of time. So we look forward to a better economy, a better India.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All the best.